Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor of ClassicsToday.com, here with the most important recording projects ever. And this one is going to probably raise an eyebrow or two, but I stand by my choice. It's The Remains of Tom Lehrer, the complete collected recordings of Tom Lehrer. Well, some of you may not know who Tom Lehrer was. Most of you do. I know because we've talked about him before. He was one of Otto Klemperer's favorite composers, songwriters. Tom Lehrer was a math teacher who was educated at Harvard, who I discovered because my mother had his records, because one of my mother's teachers when she was an undergrad at Simmons in Boston was his roommate, or something like that. She had a direct connection, semi-direct connection to Tom Lehrer. And the records were originally sold by Tom Lehrer privately, and then they took off. He was, quite simply, and the reason this collected edition is the greatest recording project ever, or one of them, is because he was simply the greatest composer of satirical songs that has ever lived. Period. There is no one that can touch him. And when you are at the best at what you do, and what you do happens to be something musical, and those musical things become classics, then yes, a collected edition is one of the greatest recording projects ever. I don't think this is even still available. It's called The Remains of Tom Lehrer, and it's 3 discs, and you get, well, he only wrote, there's 25 songs on the first disc and 24 on the second, some of which I think are some of which are duplicated, and then there's 25 tracks on the third, but there's something like 30 or 40 songs. That's his entire output, because he was, I think he's retired now, he's living in Southern California. He was teaching at the University of California in Santa Barbara, I believe, or someplace down there. But he was a math professor, essentially. And he, a musical genius who did exactly as much as he wanted to do in the late 50s and early 60s, and then stopped. And that was it. That's it. It's the whole output. He's like the Henri Duparc of satirical songwriting. There aren't many songs, a couple of dozen, but they are works of absolute genius. They cover the most amazing range of subjects. His album, That Was the Year That Was, had some of the most incredible songs he ever did. It was, the year I believe was 1964. I could be wrong. But it has the ballad of Alma Mahler. Alma, tell us, all modern women are jealous. Which of your magical wands bagged you Gustav and Walter and Franz? And it has, oh my goodness, what else has it got? Oh, it's got the Vatican Rag. The Vatican Rag, which Otto Klemperer just got hysterical over. First you get down on your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect, and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Make a cross on your abdomen. When in Rome, do like a Roman. Ave Maria. Gee, it's good to see you. I mean, this stuff is absolutely outrageous. Poisoning pigeons in the park. I love poisoning pigeons in the park. You know, all the world seems a tune on a spring afternoon as we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me as we poison the pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all try and hide, but they still go for peanuts when coated with cyanide. It's fabulous. Fabulous. I hold your hand in mine, dear. I press it to my lips. I take a healthy bite from your dainty fingertips. These are delicious, hilarious songs. There's the Irish ballad about a maid. I'll sing a song, sing Rickety Tickety Tin, who murdered her whole family. And there's Lobachevsky. I mean, who could write a comic song about a mathematician, of all things? I mean, he set to Major General Stanley's patter song from the Pirates of Penzance, the entire periodic table of the elements. And then, of course, there's I've Got It from Agnes, which is, the transmittal of an STD. But he never tells you what he was that you got from Agnes and how it proliferated through the community at the time. This was stuff nobody was doing at the time. It really was. And he did it with such genius and dry wit and insouciance, and his live recordings are just as much fun as the others, because then you get his commentary between each song. And the commentary is absolutely fabulous. Marvelous. I mean, smut is one of his most popular songs. But what else have we got here? And there are a bunch of them that you may not know, that weren't on the regular albums, or that were disappeared very, very quickly. I mean, there's his wonderful Hanukkah song, which is topical. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica and Shavuos in St. Louis. It's fabulous. And we've got, let's see, he did some songs for the electric company, the children's song, like alphabet songs and things like that, that he did for children. And let's see, new recordings. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica. Yep, there it is. That was a new recording, 1999. So he did it all the way up to then. Most of the rest of these were from 1960, 53, 59, 65. They're just amazing. And so I think that any collection devoted to the greatest satirical songwriter in the history of humanity, at least that I know of well, is definitely one of the most important recording projects ever. If you can hear any of his stuff, if you don't know it, you owe it to yourself. You really do. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.